There's no way we're going to get through there. Absolutely no way. Welcome to day one of our new adventure.
Yeah.
We've swapped a ship going around the outside of New Zealand to basically a really nice coach going around the inside of New Zealand. We're here as guests of Riviera Travel UK, which are good friends of ours, and we're doing their itinerary called the Land of the Long White Cloud, which is what New Zealand is referred to. Yeah, and on this trip we're going to be probably going in a little bit more depth this time into the sort of history and culture of New Zealand, whereas the cruise was very much like, whoa, look at that scenery, and look at those bagpipes. You have to watch it to find that one. And how steep is that street? It doesn't want to be like that here. I think we're going to go in a little bit more detail and do some more adulting, shall we? Get in with those burgers! It looks like a dead emu there. I'll go and check if it's all right. So if you're watching this and it's not a Friday, don't pretend it is. But this is our train. It's very long.
Oh, that one's up for Tinder though.
She just said that house was on Tinder. This is our ride for the week. It's a very nice coach actually. This is Les, our driver. He's going to be here for 4 days. And he's going to stop at Hamilton, but already he's a font of all knowledge. He's our guy for learning, so thank you, Les. So we literally got back in the bus for about 5 minutes and stopped in Warkworth itself, a little town. It's so lovely. First thing we do is head for a cafe.
Yeah, it's a French cafe, this one.
It's a French cafe. Ordered a couple of coffees, ham and cheese baguettes. I didn't have much for breakfast. That's what I say. Bon appetit! Well, hello. The coach has dropped us down here for about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
About an hour and a half.
Yeah.
In Whangarei?
Whangarei, which is like the main city in the north of the North Island, so north of Auckland. It's the far north.
Far north. It does sound something out of Middle Earth. You've got Middle Earth and you've got the far north. Anyway, we're in a cafe called the Riverside Cafe, and we're trying to limit our lunches because cruise ship hangover food.
Yeah. But it's a lovely little quayside area. So there's lots of yacht. Obviously, it's a Sunday lunchtime, so there's lots of families out on the quayside. The restaurants are all pretty much full, aren't they?
But no, this is lovely. So we've just found this little place. We're just going to have a nice cold drink because actually it's mid-20s today.
Yeah.
Even though it's cloudy.
23 degrees.
And the sun burns really quickly, according to our driver.
Yes.
So we've got to be careful. It's thoroughly nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
I hope the weather stays like this for the entire fortnight. And so let's have some lunch.
Yeah.
That's great. So this guy's obviously the motor, and he's sending the balls up to start their journey, like on a massive. It's like a massive kaplunk, isn't it? Is it a kaplunk or mousetrap? Is it mousetrap, isn't it? So the time is 1:23 and 30 seconds.
Wow,
45 seconds. Wow.
And then when that next ball comes down there, you need to watch what happens. It's really coming.
Well, the other.
The second balls.
Yeah.
So watch the second ball. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes.
Whoa!
So
It's like a huge roller coaster. Right. Oh, that one of them did.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So the last one went down there to the minutes.
Wow.
And then the rest went off. And then obviously when the 10 minutes, when it fills up, the same thing will happen. So it will become 30.
Wow.
It's very clever.
That is incredible.
we managed to tear ourselves away from the cathartic, chromed chronographic curiosity, and just before 3 bowling balls past the hour, we reached the main stop of the day, the Waitangi Treaty Grounds, where we learned about the history surrounding the early agreements made between the British Crown and the Maori tribes, as well as our first introduction to Maori culture. Given the historic context of this cherished ground, considered to be New Zealand's most important historic site, where the nation was born following the signing of the Declaration of Independence from the British monarchy, at the time Queen Victoria, it was a little poignant and rather remarkable to have a 21st century representation of the monarch residing just off the treaty grounds themselves. Would you believe? Cunard's Queen Victoria.
The scenic hotel we're in is actually sort of situated in a really quiet area full of hotels, but all these kind of like they look like motels, don't they? But I think that's the kind of style for around here. So we're walking down the seafront now. It's absolutely beautiful, actually. There's lots of sort of seafront homes, and it's really kind of bits and pieces, isn't it? Because look at that house there, isn't that beautiful? Oh, this one here on the front. Isn't that gorgeous? But it's sort of sitting in it. Look at the tree in the garden. Flipping heck, that is enormous. This house has got gates and a garage, but it's got no driveways. You just drive across your lawn, park in your garage. Oh, New Zealand. Things that surprised me, thumbnail. Again, right on the beachfront, we have a lovely little church. Strange looking church. It's almost like they're going to build a tower and thought, I'm so looking forward to putting the spire on. Oh, I can't be bothered to build the rest. Let's just put the spire on. Just rock up and hire a helicopter. I don't often take pictures of public toilets, I promise, but just that one. An Instagrammable toilet. Okay, we've arrived at the Bay of Islands Maritime building. Very nice, isn't it? Seasidey. Going to try and get into this restaurant we know is fully booked according to online, but you never know, they might have walk-ins. Let's give it a go. There, look at that. She bagged herself a little table, crafty little table, as long as we're out by 7. And we're outside, which is where we wanted to be. Here's the obligatory drink shop. And viewers to this channel will know I do like to try a local beer wherever we are. And this one, the Paradise Pale Ale by McLeod's, is from Waipu, which is literally just down the coast on the North Island. Absolutely delicious. Local beers, they never let you down, you know. That was good, wasn't it? Just the sort of thing we fancy as well. Tomorrow we're going to the Hole and dolphin watching. So let's hope that we can see a 9-metre jump and that we get a drip from the Hole. Isn't that right, hun? I'll tell you where we're getting a drip from now, though. Raining. Well, it's not all blue skies in New Zealand, you know.
Our raincoats are getting a fair share of use, it has to be said.
It's the land of the long grey cloud. Or the long rain cloud, one of the two. It just comes in and that's it.
We have learnt not to leave anywhere without the raincoats in.
From now on, I think they're coming with us.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Anyway, have a lovely evening.
That there is, that's Charlotte's kitchen where we were last night. So we knew which pier to come to this morning. Still have fond memories of the pizza and fries.
Go back there tonight, darling.
We could.
Have a different pizza.
It's tempting. Good morning from...
Payhai. I don't know.
Hey, what does it say on the map?
Something like that. We are here.
Hey here.
Yeah.
Hey here. I'll tell you what, the name's really difficult
We're now gonna
to remember and pronounce.
now. We're on a dolphin cruise where we're gonna just stop at Russell, which is across the bay, just to pick people up, so drop people off. Then we're going to an island, which I think is called Urupukapuka. Urupukapuka. Yes. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Urupukapuka, where we can sit on the beach, or climb up the mountain, or have a wander around. So we've got an hour and a half there. Then we get back on the cruise and we sail to Cape Brett, which is the end of a peninsula where there is a hole in the rock that we sail under.
Ooh.
And hopefully see some dolphins.
Dolphins!
And then from there we sail back to Russell, where we can either get off in Russell and then catch a ferry back later, or we can come back across the bay to where we are staying. But we're going to wait and see what the weather's like, because there's rain forecast this afternoon, isn't there? So we're hoping to get off in Russell and just catch the ferry back, but we'll see. We've got wet so many times in the last few days that I'm not sure I can face it again.
And you can tell which one of the two of us has the attention span to listen to what they're saying.
Yes, Richard has no idea what we're doing.
Anyway, let's get going, shall we? See you on the other
Richard's
side.
just coming along for the ride, aren't
I am, just got the cameras and
Look out for dolphins.
look out for dolphins.
That's your job for the day.
I am. Your job is to watch for the rain.
Yes.
That's what you like to do. Anyway, let's go.
Yeah.
So he's going to go for it. He's going to go through the hole.
Video it.
He's going to go through the hole. Here we go. Here we go. There's no way we're going to get through there. Absolutely no way.
Looks way too small, doesn't it?
He's not going to go for it, is he? Is he going to go?
Split decision. Why is he doing it?
Actually, he's going for it, look. He's going for it. Oh, no. Here we go. Look at that. Whoa. Did you? Does that bring you luck, does it? Woo.
I got tripped
Oh
out.
my goodness. Whoa. Right, well, here we are on the island of... I can't even remember the name of the island. What is the name?
Urupukapuka.
Urupukapuka.
The only island in the Bay of Islands that you can stay on overnight. 3 campsites. You have to vacate by sunset.
By sunset. Here is the Urupukapuka walk. So we're going to go for a quick walk while the weather's good, because the weather might not be good. The view on this walk is absolutely gorgeous. I'm kind of glad it's not bright sunshine today, because it would be very high UV index. to go to Russell, perhaps, because it's very, very small, and they would have to wait for a ferry back. So, sorry, Russell, we can't cover you in our blog. Apart from being the first capital city, we did take some pictures from the ship.
Nice,
On the boat.
we'd only wander around there for half an hour and I'm watching the youngsters frolicking around in the sea over there. Look at them. To have the youth.
Oh, to frolic.
Yes.
You're right.
To be young again.
I don't want to be young again. I mean,
It's
they'd have to
interesting.
spend the next 30 years buying another house.
Well, that's true. There's an
Okay.
interesting boat anchored out in the bay out here, which is got like a yurt built on the top.
Yeah.
Which presumably you can book for the night, I presume, and
You stay on the
spend
unit?
night sleeping in the middle of the bay.
That's good, isn't it?
I'm going to look that up when we get home. The sea yurt.
The sea yard.
Sea yurt.
Sea yard.
Instagram.
Look it up.
Do you remember when we were in the Galapagos and the sea lions just used to like come up onto the boat? So maybe in the middle of the night you'd have a sea lion join you.
That would be weird, wouldn't it? Oh, to have 20 stone of pure blubber laying next to you. I didn't mean you. Well, had a lovely time on the dolphin seeker, although we didn't see any dolphins.
Yeah.
We
Aptly
sought,
named.
well, we
Yacht.
sought them, but we didn't see them.
Yeah, we don't.
Aptly named.
Never mind.
Be like
I'm
a,
intrigued by those guys predating that fish.
just been out fushing, haven't they? They are getting a fush, aren't they? Now, we thought we might go straight back, but we've seen an ice cream. We're being drawn to it like sirens to a doom. Thank you very much. Thank you. Right. Okay, so we've got hokey pokey ice cream. Single scoop, look at that.
It's like honey vanilla flavoured with chunks of like crispy caramel.
Unbelievable though. Just got back to our room and it's absolutely falling down again.
I mean, it goes from being like baking hot, like you can feel the sun burning
Yeah.
through your skin,
So this.
to this.
Wow. Oh, this is the view from our bed, from our room, by the way. Nice, isn't it? A little tucked in the corner of a little garden. That's nice. Apart from the rain, of course. We managed to get into Zane Gray's, although we kind of cheekily rocked up again, and we were lucky actually. I thought he was going to say no. Yeah. Well, we're here. But should we have come? Oh yes, I think we should. It looks good. Well, this is our last look before we head out tomorrow morning. Oh, the tide's out, look at it. The tide's gone way down since we've been out for dinner. It's been raining so much this afternoon. Poor New Zealanders have really had it with the rain. I mean, it was like a proper tropical rain this afternoon. It's no storm, but just persistent, huge downfall. So, here's to tomorrow. Good morning. It's 6:30. It's 6:30 a.m. Things are kicking off already. It's an early start. Well, we've got a long way to go. I think this calls for some funk. Let's go. Good afternoon, not good morning. From, well, we're at a racetrack. We've stopped at the Hampton Downs racetrack for a little bit of lunch because we're on the way to Hamilton.
Yeah, we're about 60 kilometres from Hamilton now.
Yeah, we've spent a long time in the coach today.
Yeah.
A lot of travelling to get from the Bay of Islands, which is way up north,
North of Auckland, yeah.
to almost the south of the island, or certainly mid-south. We've been mostly travelling today, but the weather's been nice and there's been lots of really nice scenery to look at. It's nice, they've got a little museum here in the cafes. There's some like racing cars in there, and something really loud is now coming past. And it's not a car, I think they're cutting the grass. Now about to head back on the coach.
Next stop, Hamilton.
Next stop, Hamilton. Let's resume the funk.
Not not only was the Novotel Hamilton Tanui the best hotel we'd stayed in on this trip so far, it also served to further my understanding of the modern-day New Zealand and its socio-political landscape. Forgive me if my understanding of anything I'm about to say is incorrect, and please leave a comment if I need correcting. Well, here goes. The hotel is owned by Tanui Group Holdings, which manages the Waikato Tanui tribe's commercial assets. In 1995, the tribe were awarded $170 million in land and cash from the Crown in compensation for the wrongful confiscation of more than 1 million acres of tribal land in the 1860s. Today, the Waikato Tanui tribe are the second wealthiest in New Zealand, with assets said to be worth over $1.6 billion. And I'm telling you now, the hotels they own are superb. Settlements and legal wrangles are still very much ongoing between the New Zealand government and the various Maori tribes to this day. And from a foreigner like me who likes to think in simple terms and optimism about the world, it seems the integration of the two cultures and peoples is far more advanced and respectful than most places in the world with similar issues. Just another reason to love New Zealand and all its people even more.
Good morning and welcome to Hamilton. Well, we've only been in Hamilton half a day.
12 hours.
Time to go again.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because actually it looks really, really nice. Hotel is really, really nice. Just had a really nice breakfast. And today we haven't got that far to go to Rotorua.
Sorry if we make any pronunciations wrong. We cannot get our heads around some of the ways that the towns and cities are pronounced, but then a lot of the locals say that they can't either. They're Maori names, aren't they?
Like
wonderful, but
WH is pronounced. Well,
so what we would say Wahangi, or we thought it was Wahangari, whatever, is Whangari, isn't it?
Whangari.
Yeah,
and they roll their R's.
Yeah,
they roll their R's. So
Rotorua.
Rotorua.
Yeah.
Rotorua.
Yeah.
So yeah, apart from language difficulties aside, we're going to Rotorua today, and we're just going to read a few of the itinerary while we have our coach journey. So, Helen, what are we doing today?
So today we're leaving the coach. We haven't got far to travel today, which is nice. Rotorua is not too far away, but we're going to start the day by going to a 500-acre farm. So we're going to visit a dairy farm today.
Well, it says here,
home-baked.
Enjoy morning tea featuring delicious home-style baking and local produce.
Yeah, but then we're going to travel on to the thermal region of Rotorua, and I think our hotel is quite near there, we're staying there for 2 nights.
So when we talk about thermals, we talk about geothermals, similar to Iceland, so there's a lot of stuff going on underneath the city, and there's like bubbling mud pools, it says gushing geysers, beautiful coloured hot springs, terrace formations created by mineral water, and apparently there's a smelly part of Rotorua as well.
Yeah.
Of course, it stinks, which smells
like
of rotten eggs.
Yeah, the sulphur.
Let's just hope the hotel's
fields.
not in the smelly part.
Yes.
So today's going to be a different day again. Honestly, this trip has been different every day. It's been fabulous. The scenery has been jaw-dropping. The hotel's been great. Well, let's cut the chat and let's get going, John.
Yep, the coach is waiting.
Let's go.
We arrived in Rotorua around lunchtime after stopping at the aforementioned farm visit, and the smell was immediate and powerful. With Rotorua sitting on a melting pot of geothermic activity, there are sulphur fields all around the city, and if the wind is blowing in the right, or should we say wrong, direction, it's impossible to ignore this fact, the strong smell of sulphur pervading everywhere. Our hotel for this part of the tour was the Sudima, and it was the most disappointing of the whole trip. Our itinerary was due to stop in Napier, and because of the devastating cyclone that had hit shortly before we arrived in New Zealand, poor Napier and the surrounding area had been badly affected and therefore was basically closed to tourists. This gave Riviera a difficult job of relocating around 45 guests in another hotel, quickly. And that's a difficult job. The result was the Sudima, and although they had modernised much of the guest accommodation, there was still a fair bit to do, including our room. The rotten egg smell didn't help the ambience either, and I can only imagine what it's like to live and work in this locality next to the sulphur fields. However, on the bright side, Riviera had certainly given us an authentic taste of Rotorua, mainly in the back of our throats, and under exceptional circumstances we applaud them for sorting out this unfortunate, unforeseen and last-minute itinerary change. It wasn't bad by any means, but the smell was. Thankfully, our hotel let us check in a little early, as we had a trip to Te Puia, a traditional Maori village and home to the New Zealand Maori Arts and Culture Institute, incorporating a college for Maori students to learn the ancient arts of wood, stone and bone carving, as well as weaving. We arrived at Te Puia late afternoon and started our visit there with a tour around the college and art gallery of works before a quick visit to the Kiwi Conservation Centre, where I fulfilled my dream of seeing a real-life kiwi. Absolutely gutted though we couldn't get any pictures, but it wasn't allowed. By the way, now we're here, if you rather randomly wanted to know what the world's longest place name is, it's in Maori, here it is.
So guys, taumata whakatangi anga ko au o tamati a jiripu ka piki mai ngā horonuku pōkai whenua ki tana tahu.
It's a hill in Hawke's Bay. Now you never knew you needed to know that, did you? Next, we went to the Maori meeting house where we got a traditional welcome, then a performance with songs, chants, and a haka. This is exactly the kind of brilliant experience that you come to New Zealand for. Well, how do you follow that? Well, another of the highlights is the historic Te Wakarewarewa geothermic valley. Probably haven't pronounced that correctly, sorry. With its incredible mud pools, silicon rock formations, and amazing geysers.
Oh, it absolutely stings.
After that rather smelly experience, we went back to the main building and it was time for a delicious hangi buffet. Hangi is a traditional Maori cooking method using the natural geothermic heat to cook food in an underground oven using rocks buried in a pit called an umu. It was an all-you-can-eat buffet and well, that's exactly what we did because it was utterly delicious. The Maori experience was really insightful, entertaining and fun. Our hosts were incredible, telling us stories and information about Maori culture. they had been welcoming tourists here since the late 19th century and genuinely seemed to love having tourists coming along to find out more about the culture. And they recognise the valuable contribution us tourists make to keeping this language and culture alive. Today we should have been heading off to Napier, but as mentioned before, the whole of Hawke's Bay was badly damaged by a cyclone, so we had another day in Rotorua. In the morning we visited the fascinating buried village of Teweroa, an archaeological site recovered following the 1886 eruption of nearby Mount Tarawera. It completely buried the village and destroyed the famous White Terrace, a stunning and unique mineral formation that for thousands of years had been a natural healing spa for locals and tourists. What remains of the village has been carefully excavated from the volcanic ash that covered it following Mount Tarawa's eruption by the Smith family, who purchased the 12-acre site in 1931. The village is still run by the family now. As well as the fascinating ruins, there's also an incredible waterfall and a sumptuous cafe on site. It's well worth a visit. From the buried village we headed down to Lake Tarawera, just to marvel at another of the amazing calderas, which are lakes that form in a crater of a collapsed or erupted volcano.
So this is the lake near to the buried village, and if you look over there towards the left, there's like a plateau. And that's actually the volcano, and that's where the top completely blew off it, which is why it's flat. Looks like Table Mountain. All that was chucked in the air. Most of it landed over here somewhere. This is stunning.
What a relaxing way to spend an hour or so on such a beautiful day. Having rested, we headed back to Rotorua and stopped at the Redwood Forest with a chance to get up close and personal with these magnificent and enormous trees by doing the treetop high walk. I'll let, me take up the story.
Well, our next stop is a giant redwood forest. I mean, this is my favourite tree in the whole world. Well, apart from the English oak, I think. But it is a tree amongst trees, if that makes sense. Start, in brackets, bricking it, close brackets, here. Oh, it's bouncy, Helen. It's bouncy. Look at the fear on her face.
You're not enjoying this. Not my cup of tea.
There you go, sequoia. Isn't that in California, look? California redwoods. The tallest living trees on Earth. Meghan and Harry did it. Oh.
2018.
That's going to get an equal amount of likes as it does dislikes, I'm sure. Platforms aren't actually attached to the bridge, they're suspended. So they're sort of hanging, basically, so that the tree doesn't get disturbed. I don't know if you can hear me. Everyone's laughing.
This is the tallest tree, is it?
Well, I don't know which one it is, the one with the stairs on it. Right, this is where we go higher. Shall we go higher, honey? Do you want to go first, ladies and gentlemen? Got to walk over this. That. Let me just show you. That's a long way down. Just to up the ante, they've made the platforms completely see-through now. Thank you very much, Mr. Tree Man. If a tree falls in a forest and no one hears it fall, does it make a sound? Does it make a sound?
Back in Rotorua for a free afternoon, we headed out to Eat Street in the early evening for a delicious Mexican dinner.
Right, we found a Mexican down here, or we just hope that they've got spaces because, I could murder a Mexican, not literally. So that's good. It was a toss-up between an Indian and a Mexican. So we ain't regretting this decision one little bit. Look at that. Enchiladas. Is that the burrito?
Yeah.
Oh, and we've got some tacos coming. Oh my goodness.
I think we've got plenty here.
Oh yeah. Now we've just stumbled upon a night market. That's good, in the heart of Tutanekai Street. Probably pronounced that wrong. Let's go and see what's going on down here, shall we?
Lots of locals were out enjoying the nice summer's evening, and the street food stalls and the live music was going on at either end of the long street. What a lovely way to end our time in Rotorua. You know, despite the rather smelly start, we really enjoyed our time in Rotorua and found it to be a friendly and jovial town with such a pretty lakeside frontage and some interesting history. Well, it was a long drive from Rotorua to our final destination in the North Island before catching the ferry to the South Island as we headed for Wellington. Everywhere you looked, there was evidence that something hot and powerful was lurking just under the surface, ready to cause trouble at any moment. And that was just the Mexican dinner we had last night. On the way, we stopped at Hooker Falls, an incredible whitewater section of the Waikato River, where almost 250,000 litres of water per second burst through the 15-metre wide natural gorge before tumbling down an 11-metre fall back into the river. The sight and sound of the phenomenal amount of power created from the water in this section of the river is one of the most amazing things we've ever witnessed. But with a long drive ahead, we set off again, but we stopped at this little roadside cafe for lunch that had some rather funny locals.
Well, we stopped for lunch at this little cafe, and we're kind of quite hung up on these mince and cheese pies. I don't know if it's a New Zealand thing or just a thing, but yeah, somehow they are strangely impulsive.
Speaking of strangely impulsive, we had time to meet the cafe's little helpers.
Please be aware. Generally very friendly. How are you? Oh, good. Huge ears. Where'd you get ears like that from? Eh? What happened?
Oh, jealous, are you?
Oh, hello.
I was trying to take it.
Oh, they're kicking off. It's all kicking off at the cafe. But hey, he's a grumpy one, isn't he?
Generally very friendly. With only one evening in Wellington, we immediately headed out of our hotel to the nearby cable car, which took us up to the Botanical Gardens.
A sundial of human involvement. What do you have to do? The person who's produced the shadow was standing on the time of year marked on a figure of 8 in the centre of the ellipse. Let's try it, shall we? Accurate within a few minutes. And I know it's not sunny. That doesn't matter. Right, we've got to stand on the Sundial for... Right, this sundial represents the arrival of John. So if you stand on... What's the date today? March the 3rd. Right, stand there. Stand facing me. With your back to the sun and your hands together, pointing above your head. Point your hands above your head. Sort of straight up like this.
Where's the sun?
Well, that is the problem, but it is accurate within a few minutes, apparently. But there you go, we've told the time in sundial language. 15-minute walk around the Botanical Gardens, a Dominion Observatory, and a huge gun. Look how big that gun is. My oh my. If you're looking for a historically accurately narrated video, you come to the wrong place. She's beckoning me. She's beckoning me. What's going on? Oh, look! It's a ship. It's a ship. The Hapag-Lloyd Europa is leaving the dock.
After that, the sun was setting, so we had a quick look around the harbour, and it was beautiful actually. Now, with only a brief stop in Wellington, we left the North Island on an inter-islander ferry the next morning to make our way over to Picton on the South Island. And honestly, that's something we simply must show you in part 2. So thanks for watching. We'll see you there.